What's up, my little titty birds? How are we doing? How's it going? Welcome. Seriously, welcome. This is the first video of what I'm gonna call the Ascent. Um, I'd like this to be how you learn to get to where you want to be, how to accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish. Um, I'm gonna teach you just as much as I'm gonna grow with you. So I've been on and off trading for the last like 4 or 5 years. Um, I traded heavily back in 2020 and 2021, and then I ended up losing all my money after I lost my guidance. And so that's where I want to fill in for you guys. I want to be that guidance. I know there are other gurus out there and other trainers and other people who will teach you how to trade, but I'd still like to be a part of your guys' lives too because everybody trades differently. And for one, I didn't even know who ICT was until like a week ago. And TJR, I didn't know who he was because when I started trading, he didn't exist. So you could definitely go learn from these two guys. And as far as I know, TJR is great. And whatever ICT is doing, it works, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. They're not how I learned or where I learned from. So we're gonna go over what I know. But for starters, I don't want to just throw you guys into the charts because um, if you really just want to go learn charts, you can go look up charting videos. If you really want to learn how to get successful in this, then I want you to grow with me every step of the way. So I'm going to walk you through exactly what I'm doing and exactly how I'm going to get to where I want to be. And this, I guess, this ascent that I'm going to be posting every day from here on out is going to be part of, well, how I accomplish my goals. And I hope for you, it can be a kind of guide because I know if I could have seen these videos 4 or 5 years ago from someone like me in the same position I was in, going to where I want to be in the same position I want to be, it would have helped so much. So I just want to address a couple things though. I am broke. Okay. I don't have any money. Like, I have no money to my name right now. There's 11 cents in my Cash App, and I just signed up for a bank account today. So I do have two jobs, but the first one, I got my first paycheck a week ago. No, 2 weeks ago, and then the next paycheck comes in this week, but I only get paid $8 an hour from that job. Not cutting it, okay? And then my other job I just started a week ago, but I got sick this week and I just haven't been able to work. So, but it gave me time to do this. So I've been starting on this for you guys. And then yeah, I've been on and off trading. I really haven't even traded all year. I did a little bit back in like December, but when January, February came around, I was convinced to move out of my town and I quit my job and I moved up to a different city where I figured I would try to learn real estate. So I got into this whole wholesaling thing and calling people on the phones, and it was fun. I had fun with it, but it wasn't it wasn't working. Like the guy I was with, it just didn't pay off. So that's okay, but I'm in a hole now because of where I'm at, and I actually didn't stick to what I knew, and I decided, I'm gonna go chase this shiny object. So when people are talking about shiny object syndrome, it's a real thing, and I didn't even realize it until 2 months ago when things really started getting bad and I couldn't pay my rent. Um, it was just so nice. It was like, oh yeah, if you make a call and it goes well, then you get 10 grand in maybe a month, and it sounded so good, and I was sold on those promises for so long, and it wasn't real. I mean, it works for some people, but what I was doing, it just wasn't working. So moved on, got a job, got a second job, and here we are. And I'm trying to get back into trading because I was good at it, and I am good at it, and I want to share that with everyone. So I have a Snapchat account that I've had for years now, and I've posted a lot of trading stuff on there. And the amount of support that I get from that Snapchat community has always been asking, "Yo, show me how to trade, teach me how to trade." And I I didn't feel comfortable doing it at the time because I had only learned for probably 6 months, and then I got kicked out of the group that I was in because they only wanted adults in there, and I was 16 at the time. And then they found out I was 16, and I was kind of a little jackass when they found out, so they kicked me out, and I lost my guidance. And at the time, it was like, well, I know what I need to know, and I can trade off of this. And for a while, it worked. And like my camera roll, I took screenshots of like all my wins and all my losses, and you can see it goes up and down for a while, and eventually I start climbing up. But I was trading options at the time, and I had no risk management. So when it got down to it, and I was taking trades, I would put way too much in. So like I had $1,000 on the account, I'd put 500 bucks in a trade. And although the win would be great, I might get 200 bucks out. It when I started losing, I lost too much. And then the whole account was gone. And um at that time, it was kind of like the end of trading for me, cuz after I lost all that money, I was like, well, what's the point? Why should I keep doing this? But behind the scenes, I'd log back in and I'd keep looking at the charts, and I realized I actually really liked it. And eventually I got convinced that real estate would be better cuz you need to make money so you can trade. It's like yes, you do need to make money so you can trade. But switching, doing that shiny object thing, it's not it's not going to get you anywhere. You got to focus on one thing. And what I knew was trading, not real estate. So for the last 2 years since I graduated high school, I focused on real estate. I thought that was going to be it. It wasn't for me. It just wasn't. For some people it is, but not me. So that brings me to how I want to start this out. So, again, I don't really want to put you guys on charts just yet because I want this first week to be about how to actually get started trading. And if you're at all like me, which I'm sure there's tons of you out there, you don't have any money to trade right now. So, we're going to break this down in a way that can get you started. And by next week, you will have money. Not for trading, but you'll have money. That's what we're focused on. We're not focused on making millions right now, okay? Because as great and as high of leverage as trading is, you can't become a millionaire overnight. Some people do really well, but it takes them months to figure out the skill to get good enough to start doing well. So, we're going to take you through that whole process, okay? It's going to be fun. We're going to have a great time, and I'm going to close my window. I want to get started by just telling you guys you can't get there by doing nothing, okay? This isn't going to be a solution to not doing work, okay? Um, One of the first books I read was The 4 Hour Work Week by Timothy Ferriss, one of the first business books I read. And it goes over how, the real rich is having time, having freedom to do what you want to do. But you can't start there. You never get to just start there. You have to work up to it. And so for a lot of you, you're my age, you're in the 18 to 20, 23 range, and you're still trying to figure out what you're trying to do. Whether it's you just graduated high school, or you're just now graduating college, or you didn't do college and you just graduated high school and you've been floating around, whatever it is, we're gonna get money in your pocket. A book that I've also always loved is a book called The Richest Man of Babylon. And I would like to ask you guys to read it, but I know most of you won't, because who the hell reads books these days? I'm gonna break down a lot of the aspects that were in this book. All right, so damn, I keep saying that. The first lesson I want to start with is how to pay yourself first. A lot of people don't understand this concept, And frankly, I didn't understand it until not too long ago. Um, the aspect of actually holding your own money is very important to wealth, especially building wealth. If you want to get anywhere that involves growing your wealth, you need to actually know how to hold on to it. And for a lot of people, you don't even think about it. I mean, when you get your money, it's like, oh, I'll go buy this and I'll go buy this and I'll go buy this. And you have things. And like, let's say it's your phone. You have a phone. You have your Wi Fi. You have Wi Fi now. If it's your rent, you have rent and you have a house to live under now. So there are definitely things you have to spend money on. And I don't want to discredit any of that, but to pay yourself is one of the most important aspects of success. I mean, if you don't pay yourself, what do you have to show for any of your earnings? I mean, ever. For me, I haven't held on to my money, and that's why I'm in the situation I'm in because I was bad at saving money. So, taking these aspects from The Richest Man of Babylon, the first lesson that they teach is paying yourself first. So in the book, they explain it as a 70-20-10 rule. You live off of 70% of your earnings, and then you spend 20% on debts. If you have any debts, you pay off your friends, you pay off your family, pay off whatever debts you have with that 20%, no matter how long it takes. And then that last 10% goes into your pocket and you never spend it. Now, it goes deeper in the story what to do with that 10%, but right now I want to focus on keeping that 10%. And this is hard to do because I've been in situations where you don't have any money except for that 10%. And then what do you do when you need to spend it? Because, you're trying to get to work and you run out of gas on the side of the highway. You need to go spend that money that you have. You don't have a choice. So I want to teach you guys how to create a proper buffer, and it requires a lot of dedication to this. I mean, it's a sport of a sort, okay? You got to be committed to not touching this money. It's not easy, but there are ways to make it easier, okay? So, I'm going to keep referencing books throughout this entire thing because they're great, okay? I've read a lot of them and a lot of them are super helpful. So there's another book that I want to mention. It's called Atomic Habits. It's a really good book. It talks about how you can build and break habits. Okay. One of the most important aspects in this book is teaching yourself how to make things easier. And then it slowly turns into a habit. And to turn it into a habit, you have to do it thousands of times. So for the holding on to that 10% thing, it's going to be tough. Okay. It's going to be tough for the first couple weeks, for even first couple of months. Um, But once you get used to it, it gets a lot easier, and then you never touch that 10% because you have other money. So if you were to take out 90% of everything you earn and you put it all away so you could spend it on rent, food, gas, everything you actually need, paying off debts, great. Take that other 10% and hide it. I mean, if you have to, hide it from yourself so you don't touch it. For me, I used to store my money in books. So I have a couple books on my bookshelf over here, and I'll whenever I get a couple dollars in cash, I'll take 10% of and I'll put it in a book. And I'll like split it up. So sometimes I don't find that money again. Like if I really need the money, I'll go looking through my books and I'm like, okay, cool, there's $10, there's $20. It's an amazing thing when you can't control yourself. Because how often are you going to go into your book for money if you have money in your wallet still? That's like the main aspect. If you have money that's accessible, you won't touch the money that's hard to reach. And I didn't translate it well, but that's kind of how the Atomic Habit book explains it. So I make it harder for myself to spend that 10% by throwing it in a bookshelf. For you, it could be putting it in a separate bank account that you don't even have access to. You could give it to your dad or your mom and have them hold the bank account if you trust them. Um, could be a friend. If you trust your friend, you could hide your money in bookshelves, a piggy bank, if you can. And if you have more self control, then you can keep it in your wallet. Just don't touch it. Spend the other money that you have. Or if you if it works for you this way, put it in cash and don't spend the cash, but only spend what's on your card. See, there's tons of solutions for this problem. Just don't spend that 10%. Paying yourself first is the most important part to getting this whole process started. Without paying yourself first, you have nothing to trade. Even if you wanted to get into a funded account, you need money. You need to be able to buy into that funded account. And then the thing is, if you don't watch all the videos that I'm going to post, if you don't watch other people's videos, if you don't learn everything you need to learn and spend the time testing every strategy that you want to implement, there's a really good chance that you'll fail. And I would prefer to see you guys go through the whole process. I want to see you back test. I want to see you study. I want to see you watch all my videos. I want to see you watch all of TJR's videos. Okay, I want you to learn everything you can, but I don't want you to spend too long learning. Okay, there's a certain threshold where you should stop learning and start implementing what you need to know. So that's when you start back testing, and you can use demo accounts. I mean, the way I practice is on a paper trading account. So I just log into TradingView and then I open a paper trading account and then I just take trades on that. But I use my risk management because if you're not following your risk management on a demo account, if you're not following your risk management on a demo account, then there's a really low chance that you're going to follow risk management on a live account. When you're talking about real money, there's a lot more emotion that goes into play. For example, just think about the last purchase you made. It was likely emotional. I mean, for me, the last purchase I made was gas, okay, because it's the only money I had. So I had to go get some gas for my car, and it sucked because it's the only money I had. And it all went to gas, and it made me a little sad. And that's just a little perspective of it. I mean, that was like 20 bucks, okay? When we're trading, we're talking about a lot more money than that, especially on a funded account. Because if you buy into a funded account, even if you bought into it for 50 bucks, you're trading with almost $10,000. Even if it's not your money, you got to be good at managing it, because if you lose that account, then you have to spend another 50 bucks. If you lose that account, then you spend another 50 bucks, and you're just going to keep digging a hole and you're not going to be making any money. You have to be profitable to make money. To do that, you have to learn properly. So, that's where we're at. What else can I add? I think that's actually about it. I've covered as much as I want to cover for today. So, for me, I just want to explain the way I'm structuring my savings is a little more aggressive than I'm asking you guys to do, because I have two jobs and it makes it easier to save higher percentages. So, for me, I'm saving 30%, and that 30% is going to go into trading. It's going to be held in an account. I mean, I'll probably use some of it for buying into funded accounts, but it's for trading. That 30% is not going to be touched for spending. It's not even going to be spent on food, gas, nothing. It's trading money. For me, that's my aggressive path. That's how I'm going to get the savings that I need to get to actually get where I want to be. Now, for you guys, I recommend that you start with 10% if you only have one job, or if your job only pays enough for what you need to get by. Also, cut back on some spending. I mean, for starters, if you buy a coffee every morning, stop. Okay. I don't want to be the one who preaches this kind of thing, because I typically don't believe in it. But if you are spending $5 a day on a cup of coffee and you're watching these videos to figure out how to make more money, then you need to stop spending the money you're already making. Simple as that. $5 a day for a month is enough to make up for a lot of differences. Okay. So put that $5 aside, even if it's the only $5 that you can spare, put that aside, put it in that 10% withholding that you're not going to touch. Okay. Next week, I want you guys to comment, how much you actually ended up saving. Right now, I just want you to commit to this. I want you to start putting 10% aside every day for this whole week, okay? Even if it's only one paycheck, even if you only get $5 tip, go put 50 cents aside. I mean, seriously, anything's better than nothing. So start with that, And then by next week, we'll see where you're all at. Okay. What else? What else? I have a different structure, and if you want to follow my structure, so be it. Just know that I'm going pretty aggressive. I mean, only having 60% of my earnings that goes to my living, that's tight. For me, I want to go aggressive because I've been in this hole for 7 months. I haven't had any income until I started this recent job. So for me, I hate to say it, but I need this aggressive path. For you guys, I don't want to recommend it because starting with a 40% cut on all of your income, I mean, that's steep and that's harder to deal with than a 10% cut on your income. If you can take 10% out of your income and you're fine with that, then great. Then you can level up 15%. I'm going to start by putting 40% aside. I want to see you guys start by putting 10% aside. If you can do 10%, great. Level it up. Do 20%. Do 30%. Just do what you know you can do. Don't do any less than 10%. None less. Because just taking out 10%, think about it, it's not that much. It's not that much. And if you're really that tight on bills, then maybe you should get a second job as well. Because that's the honest truth. And if I heard myself telling myself that 2 years ago, I might have actually done it. But I didn't. And 2 years ago, I definitely needed two jobs. It doesn't matter how much I was making back then. I definitely needed two jobs to do and get to where I wanted to go. So take that with a grain of salt. Start where you can start, okay? But no less than 10%. Okay? I mean, that's about it. Uh I'd like to see you guys again tomorrow. Um Go grind. Go grind. Get that money up, brothers. Get that money up. Thanks for tuning in today. If you're new here, please subscribe, okay? If you've watched this whole thing, I love you. I personally love you because this is my first video that I'm posting, so it means a lot to me to see any love that comes in. My video that I posted yesterday, the short, got tons of love. Okay, got like 2,000 views in 24 hours, and even compared to my Instagram that would occasionally get 6,000 views, I mean, seeing 2,000s, it warms my heart. So I'm happy to be here for you guys. I just want to see a like and a subscribe from you and hit that bell so that when I post my next video, you guys are updated and you guys can watch it and keep learning with me. Please, please learn with me. I want to take this path together because if I find out someone's been watching this the whole time and they grow the same that I'm growing, I would love to see you at the top. You know, I'd love to see you there. So that's it for today, guys. That's it for today.